I suck at animation. This is an animation that I made and it speaks for itself. So starting now, I will spend the next 100 hours learning how to animate. Let's start off with the walk cycle. I spend the first 6 to 7 hours watching tutorials, understanding and learning the basics of the walk cycle. To animate most things, we start off with the extremes or keyframes. Then we add the in-between position right in the middle and add more in-betweens if needed. Storyboarding the walk took me 6 hours and it took me 2 hours to animate the walk to the best of my ability. A total of 15 hours spent on this. That's too much effort for borderline acceptable result. But that doesn't matter. I'm now ready to take on a challenge to make an entire animation sequence from scratch. Here's the basic script. It's morning. Birds chirping. Boy sleeping. Alarm ringing. The boy turns off the alarm and lazily walks to wash his face. Boy goes straight to eating his breakfast and changes into his school uniform. Boy does not take a bath because it's too difficult to animate. Boy walks off to the bus stop. And the end. Okay, yeah, it's just a morning routine. I'm not just gonna start animating action scenes after making that walk animation. Anyway, it's hour 20 and finally I have drawn a few bird frames and colored them. Another 4 hours later, the background for the first scene is done. 8 hours of effort for 3 seconds of animation just because Krita kept crashing and crashing and crashing. I'm animating this sequence mostly on 3 frames, so it should be a little easier while also being smooth enough. By hour 30, the sleeping scene was done. Look at him, sleeping so comfortably. And oh, looks like the alarm went off. Then it took a couple of hours to turn off the alarm, and a few more hours to get out of bed. What are you, a sloth? I couldn't figure out the timing and spacing for the scene, so it looks a bit weird. After that, I realized I suck at digital art, so I sketched out some keyframes on a piece of paper and traced over them for the next scene.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
It's not cheating, okay? I still have to do all the work. For the next scene, I did a front-facing walk. For this, I just had to animate the hand swinging forwards and backwards. Looks decent enough. Fast forward to hour 50, and I finally finished sketching and tracing over all the keyframes for each scene. After that, it took 11 hours of work to be done with a face wash scene. Good thing I didn't go for an actual bath. Of course, it shouldn't have taken so long, but due to lack of reference at first, I kept doing mindless work which just looked weird. But then using this clip as a reference, I got the job done after a long time. By hour 65, the front-facing coffee drinking scene was done. The next 2 scenes only took around 5 hours in total, and it was now hour 70 when I started working on the last scene. For the next 8 hours, I kept drawing the background as 3 separate layers for the final scene, but Krita kept crashing and By hour 80, the final walk was done. It only took around 2 hours this time as opposed to 15 because I took a bit of a shortcut. Simply zoom in on the character so you don't have to deal with animating the full figure. To make it even simpler, just have the character not swing his arms. Instead, he can have his hands in his pocket or grab the strap of the bag. Now the character can go up and down to mimic a walk while the background moves behind him to give the illusion of movement. But it looks a bit choppy this way, so to add a little more movement, we just need to animate the hair to give a sense of weight to the walk. By hour 80, the last scene was finished. I spent the rest of the time drawing backgrounds for each scene and redoing some stuff if required. I'm pretty happy with the end result, and I hope you enjoy it as well. This video took an entire month to make, so please consider subscribing if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.